There's something to talk about or to set the stage here. Why is housing such an important topic in relation to politics and the presidential election? Why does this crisis exist? And then where is she saying that she's going to make a difference? And then from our perspective, as been in real estate for 21 years, we own brokerages, we've sold thousands of properties, we own rental properties, we do land development. So from our perspective, what does this mean?
What's the state of real estate right now in a nutshell in America, would you say, before you get into these policies? Because that's how it's going to either make it worse or fix it.
The state of real estate is that U.S. is in a housing crisis. Zillow said we're 4.5 million units behind. When the Federal Reserve decided, hey, I'm going to raise interest rates at the fastest they've done in 40 years, straight up, what happened is real estate transactions went back to the same level of sales we were doing during the Great Recession. And in the last few months, we're at the level of 2009. That's what's crazy. We haven't been here in a long time. So real estate transaction volume is slow. You do have declining prices in some markets, but overall, throughout most of the United States, prices are still going up despite 7% interest rates, and you have historically low inventory. Well, why do you have historically low inventory? Because during the Great Recession, we stopped building homes and we're about 4.5 million units behind, according to Zillow. Why is housing so important? It's a basic human need. We all got to live somewhere. Why is it so important in politics? And this was a twist I didn't think about until I was doing all this research, is a lot of her policies are centered around home ownership. And when you look at who votes and who doesn't vote, 65% of the US roughly owns a home. So 35% does not. And when people own a home, they're more likely to vote. So part of these policies is already feeding a certain demographic because it's geared towards them, and that's what causes more votes. So just something to be thinking about as politicians are proposing these items.
And generally speaking, would you say housing is the most unaffordable it's ever been? Regardless of politics and policies, it just is unaffordable for most Americans.
Housing is the most unaffordable that it's been since the late 70s and early 80s. That was actually the peak of unaffordability. This is the second time in history it's the most unaffordable. So we win the prize for second place, but we're not first place. Well, why was that? Well, during the late 70s and 80s, it's because interest rates got so high. Same thing happened here. Interest rates got so high. The bigger factor today is prices are also so high. So you've got interest rates at a basically almost a 40-year high. And then you've got prices at an all-time high, even though they dipped down a little bit in 2022.